Hello and welcome to today's English news lesson. My name is Stuart. In today's lesson, we're going to look at two news articles, one from Spain and one from Mexico. And remember, the objective of these lessons is to help you improve your knowledge of current events in English and also to help you build your vocabulary with different words and expressions and also some grammatical structures. So let's go to the first article. Now, the first article today comes from the Guardian newspaper. As always, I normally use the Guardian newspaper, and we can see from the headline, "What do you think about the state of Spain's politics?" What do you think about the state of Spain's politics? Now, this is an article related to the fact that Spain has not had a government for the last 10 months. And apparently, this weekend or soon, Spain will put an end to its political problems and a government will be formed. And that is what the article is about. And it's asking people to give their opinions on Spanish politics. Now, we can have a look here at the headline. We can see the first part of the article here, and it says that after a 10-month political impasse, Spain's socialists will lift a veto, making way for a minority right-wing government. Share your thoughts and hopes. So they're asking for people to participate in this article. Now, the first word here, political impasse or impasse. Now, impasse here, we'll have a look at the definition, but basically when you can't come to an agreement or you can't progress, you have this situation, an impasse, okay? So a situation in which no progress is possible, especially because of a disagreement. And this was the characteristic of the Spanish elections. The big parties in Spain could not agree on who was going to govern the country. So they had this impasse. Spain's socialists will lift a veto, okay, a veto, meaning that they were vetoing the other party, okay. We'll have a look also here at the definition, and we can see that the definition is a right to reject a decision or proposal, so you veto something. And making way for a minority right-wing government. In politics, when we talk about political ideas, we talk about right wing and we talk about left wing. So right wing, conservative normally, left wing, socialist, sometimes even more left wing, communists, for example, anarchists, and then also you can be in the center. So right, center, left wing. So a right wing government. Share your thoughts and hopes. Let's go down to the rest of the article. Exasperated Spanish voters may soon see an end to the political deadlock that has left the country without a government since last December. Spain's embattled socialists have voted to abstain from a parliamentary confidence vote in a move which will allow the Conservatives to form a minority government. So we can see here that exasperated Spanish voters. Exasperated Spanish voters. So the exasperated Spanish voters meaning that they are intensely irritated, infuriated. They're not happy with the election process. They're exasperated. May soon see an end to the political deadlock. Deadlock again, where you can't reach a decision. You have a deadlock that has left the country without a government since last December. Spain's embattled socialists. So embattled meaning that they have a lot of internal problems. They are embattled, okay? There's a lot of political infighting going on. Let's have a look again at the definition. Embattled. Prepared for war. They are embattled. They have been receiving a lot of problems or difficulties, which is the definition that we need to look at here. Embattled, okay? The Spanish socialists are embattled and have voted to abstain. Abstain. If you abstain from something, it means that you don't, in politics, you don't vote for or you don't vote against. Let's have a look at the definition here, to abstain. And we can see that it says to restrain oneself from doing or enjoying something, refrain from drinking alcohol. It just means that you don't do it. So in a political sense, it means that they're not going to vote yes, they're not going to vote no for the new Prime Minister. Okay, they are abstaining. The next paragraph. Following the announcement of the socialist vote, Pablo Iglesias, the Podemos leader, tweeted, "The end of the turnism of the two-party system, the grand coalition is born." Now, what he means here by this word here, turnism, is that one party and the other party have been taking turns to govern in Spain. Spain is a country that has been democratic for 40 years, and in those 40 years, the two main political parties, the left and the right-wing parties, have taken turns to govern. And this is the end of that, according to this person, the grand coalition, the joining together of the two political parties. The grand coalition is born. The United Left Party tweeted, "Game over. The oligarchy has won." Javier Fernandez, who is in charge of the PSOE until it elects a new leader, argued that abstention was the lesser evil, given that the other option was to force an election in December, which would have been Spain's third in a year. So, game over, the oligarchy has won. Javier Fernandez, who is in charge, meaning that he's the person that is controlling the party at the moment, he's in charge until it elects a new leader, argued that abstention was the lesser evil. It was the lesser of two evils, let's say. So the lesser evil, the lesser bad choice, let's say. So you have one bad choice, another bad choice. The lesser of the two, well, the lesser evil, given the option was to force an election in December. Okay, so that's this article here. And as I said, Spain's political situation has been difficult for the last 10 months, and it seems that this weekend or soon, the deadlock is going to be broken. So we'll see. Let's go on to the next article. Now, the next article takes us to Mexico, and we can see here the title, Enrique Peña Nieto, Mexican presidents don't set out to screw the country. They don't set out to screw the country. Now, let's have a look at this title here. So, Enrique Peña Nieto is the Mexican president, and he has said that Mexican presidents don't set out. If you set out to do something, it means that it is your intention to do it. So, Mexican presidents don't have the intention to screw the country, Now, screw has a lot of different definitions. The one here is this one here, which is to cheat or swindle. Okay? So basically what he's saying is that Mexican presidents don't set out to, they don't have the intention to steal from the Mexican people. That's his point of view. That's what he has said. You can see here, I don't think presidents get up thinking how to screw Mexico. So they don't wake up in the morning thinking of how they're going to steal or become corrupt. And the next one says, the president slips into the vernacular to encourage positive thinking about a country. Slips into the vernacular. Vernacular is the less formal, the more common language that you hear, the language that you hear in the streets, okay? If you want to relate or speak with the general population, you use the same vernacular. So the president starts using the vernacular to encourage positive thinking. So he's trying to communicate with the population by using the language that they would use instead of a formal presidential language, let's say, more of a common type of language, to screw. Let's go down and have a look at the main part. Presidents of Mexico do not wake up thinking how to screw the country, the current office holder Enrique Peña Nieto said on Tuesday, seeking to defend his record in government and encourage positive thinking. Okay, so they don't wake up thinking of how to screw the country, how to steal, how to rob, how to become corrupt. The current office holder, meaning that he is in the position, he holds the office, said on Tuesday, looking to defend his record in government and encourage positive thinking. Peña Nieto's reputation has been dented by abuses by security forces. Dented means that they have been hit or damaged, okay? His reputation has been damaged by abuses by security forces, conflict of interest scandals, and political corruption. It took a fresh hit this summer when he hosted the US Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump in Mexico City on the 31st of August for a hastily arranged visit that surprised many members of his cabinet. Now let's have a look here. So dented is another word for damaged. Conflict of interest and political corruption. It took a fresh hit, a new hit, a fresh hit this summer when he hosted the Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump in Mexico City for a hastily arranged visit. Hastily meaning that it was organized very quickly. It wasn't perhaps prepared to the greatest detail. It was rushed. It was hastily prepared. That surprised many members of his cabinet. Trump has long pilloried Mexico, pledging to isolate the country behind a huge border wall and saying the United States' southern neighbor has been sending rapists and drug smugglers north. So has long pilloried. To pillory means to attack or criticize, pledging, promising to isolate the country behind a huge border wall and saying the United States' southern neighbor has been sending rapists and drug smugglers north. Okay, so we can see here that Trump again is the key figure here as to why Mr. Peña Nieto is struggling at the moment, as well as conflict of interest scandals, political corruption, and, as I said, Donald Trump. So problems in Mexico, and he's trying to speak to the people, communicate with the people using their vernacular in order to try to explain to people that Mexican politicians are not as corrupt as it appears. Now that is all for today. Thank you very much for watching this video. Remember to comment below if you have a comment or a question about Spain's politics or Mexican politics. I'll see you in the next English news lesson. Please give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Have a good day for now. Bye.